Hello and welcome back to another video, and today, as you'll have seen by the title and thumbnail, we are here on MotoGP 21 doing a last to first challenge at Valencia. And since it is the Doctor's last ever race, well, it's just been the Doctor's last ever race, I thought it'd only be fitting for us to do this challenge as Valentino Rossi, starting from the back of the grid, seeing how high we can get up, try and maybe get him into the top 5, maybe even onto the podium if we get a good race. It is 50%, so it does give us a fair while, but of course AI are super fast in this game, and the Yamaha isn't that good actually in this game, especially in terms of overtaking, so it will be really tough, but I thought it was a fitting way to sort of do a bit of a send-off, do what I do best, the last of the first challenge. I really do enjoy them, and I know you guys do as well. So 50% race distance, that's about 13 laps around this circuit, if I'm not mistaken. Medium tyres, that's just the best tyres to go with in this game, regardless of the track, to be honest, so that's what I'm going to go with. And I don't know if I can load a setup, because all my setups for the Honda, no, so I can't load up any setups, so we're going to have to go default setup here. So it will be interesting, but without any further ado, let's get this one started. Come on, let's do it for Vale, let's see if we can get up the order.
Riders are all on the starting grid, just a few moments to go, and the lights will go out at the Ricardo Tormo track in Valencia.
So then we've got Quartararo on pole, Rins in second, and Aleix Spagro actually up in third place, so a good qualifying for Aleix there. We're waiting for the lights to go out here at Valencia. Lights out and away we go off the line. It's been a fairly decent start. We've passed Dovi already. Can we try and get Alex Marquez and Marini down towards the first corner as well as we break nice and late into the first corner around the outside of Franco Morbidelli. Can we get this one done? Not quite. So we're up to 18th. That's a decent start. We're going in the middle of the pack. Up the inside of Oliveira. Oh, that could get a bit close there. A bit of contact with, I think that's Petrucci on the inside. There's a bit of contact with right behind Bastianini. So we're up to 13th already. It's been a fantastic start. We're looking at the inside into turn 4 on Bastianini. We couldn't quite pull it off though, unfortunately. You know what? We've done a lot of the hard, but there's been a crash behind. Quartararo looks like he's checking out. So as we break for turn 6, this is getting a little bit nerve-wracking. Now we're being touched from behind by Leclerc, and Marc Marquez looking over his shoulder. He's actually quite far down the order, surprisingly, down in 12th position. Well, I suppose it's because the performance slipped out of date in this game, isn't it? So we're trying to go around the outside of Bastianini. We still can't get past Bastianini. So Bastianini really been a thorn in my side, and we picked up our first track limits warning already. Big mistake on the exit. The Yamaha is all over the place. It does feel very alien, because I'm used to riding the Honda quite a lot because of the league races. But still, we're stuck behind Enea. We need to try and pass him as soon as possible, because it was actually a really good opening couple of corners. But since then, it's not been too good. And we picked up another track limits warning. So I've really got to be careful here, because you're only allowed to get 5 before you get a long lap. And if we get a long lap penalty, that is it. That is game over, really. It is worth noting, we are on 120% AI. I know I didn't mention that. I just sort of always go with 120%. That's what I play with. So that's why it's going to be a bit of a challenge. But it seemed like the first sector was a bit better for me, so we'll have to see if we can try and get past Enea in this first sector on this lap. Although they are actually pulling away from me a little bit, so it's not a good sign. Oh, we've gone pretty hot into McDowan there. That's going to allow Morbidelli through. Back around the outside. Come on, don't get another track limits warning. Morbidelli's actually got the position though, so it started off so well. We're now going backwards. So I need to, I think, get into a bit of a rhythm. Try and fight my way back through again. So then we're back on the back of Franco Morbidelli now. And you can see there is a big train in front. No one can really get past. It is Valencia. It's a very difficult track to pass on. But honestly, this Yamaha is absolutely atrocious. It feels so bad. It's not really got much power. It just doesn't stop very well, which is 2 things you really need in this game. And we just made a big mistake there. It's going to cost me a fair amount of time to Bastianini. That puts me right all the way back off the back of them again. And we've got to do all that work all over. So we took a pretty good line through turn 1. So we're not too far behind Bastianini now. We're going to look at the inside into McDowan. This could be close. I think we might have it if we can go into power mode 3 on the exit. Side by side, no, Bastianini's still got it. I'm so sick of being behind Bastianini now, because I've been behind him since the first lap, and it's lap 4. That's how difficult it is to pass on this circuit. We had to make up all the time on the first few corners to make any positions up. And now we're just being held up by Enea. We can try and get a switch back here, use a bit of power mode 3, might be able to get him. We just need to let AI get the power down so much better than I do. But here we go, we're closing up, and we're going to look at the inside. It's going to be very close. Oh, so close to hitting the back of Enea then, but again, I still can't get past him. The Yamaha is not good enough on the brakes to able to level these guys. It's hard enough to pass at Valencia as it is, but you need to really be able to outbrake someone here to do it. We might be able to get him out of here, though, on the run into turn 12. Again, no, we just haven't got the power. No power compared to that Ducati, and we've actually almost hit him at the back, and that's put me a bit further behind once again. That's what I really don't need. I need to be able to just stay on the back of him onto this straight, and then not have to do so much in Sector 1. Maybe it's actually be able to make a pass on him. So I'm taking some very interesting lines now to try and make up the time, and it actually does seem to be working a little bit. I've just got to be careful into turn 12. I know I'm going to get my nose wiped if I go on the outside. I've just got to be ready for it so I don't go in too hot. I think this time I might have done it about right, so we might be in a position to pass Bastianini at the start of the next lap potentially this time, because you can see we're 4 tenths underneath my personal best so far. So this is the best we've done so far in the last sector, and we've gone a little bit wide to the last corner, but it's not too bad. We'll get a good exit because of it. Hopefully Bastianini loses a little bit of time if he tries to attack Marc Marquez here, because it looks like that's what he's doing. So we go down towards the first corner. Well, I thought about a move then, but again, I'm just too far back. You need to be able to outbrake the AI to pass, and I just can't because I'm on the Yamaha. I've got to give Milestone props for that, though. They actually managed to nerf the Yamaha for once. The Yamaha's been the best bike for years, but for once it finally isn't. But up the inside, we're going to Bastianini now. No, I still can't get the move done. It's unbelievable how we're stuck. It's very actually quite realistic that you get stuck on a one-line train here and you just can't make the pass. But I'm starting to get a bit desperate, and I think there might end up being a collision here. And I'm now under attack by Brad Binder by the looks of it. So, yeah, my race is going from bad to worse. After such a promising start as well. Picked up a track limits warning, but Nakagami seems to have caused a bit of carnage in the pack. And there we go, Bastianini rolled out the throttle, so we're finally past Bastianini. We have picked up the track limits warning. I guess that is the sort of repercussion of that. But here we go then now. We're behind Marc Marquez. Can we try and get past Marquez? He might be a bit easier to pass because he's not quite got the top speed of the Ducati. I've still got Brad Binder behind me, so Bastianini also lost a position to Binder. There we go, then we're in the slipstream of Marquez, going down towards the first corner. He's trying to get past Nakagami, and I think we are going to pass probably both of them on the run into the first corner. I've had to leave Nakagami a bit of space, which is really, really messing me up because the rear lost traction, so we're back behind the pair of them again. But we're still in front of Bastianini, so that's what's important, because he was one that was very difficult to get past. I think it's going to be easier to pass a Honda than a Ducati, and the Hondas are going side by side as well, costing each other time. Marquez goes past Nakagami. I was going to try and go up the inside there, but Binder is really hassling me now, so I need to try and make the pass on Nakagami so that Binder doesn't make the pass on me. We're getting up towards half race distance now as well, so we do want to... Oh, Binder's on the inside! Oh, Brad Binder. And we're back to square one. Oh no, don't let Bastianini through. I cannot do that. We're back up the inside of Binder. This is going to be aggressive. Please, just do not let Bastianini get back through, because I spent 6 laps trying to get past him. And I finally did it. So we are back in front of Bastianini now. But Binder's up the inside on the grass. I don't know what he's doing. That's cost him time. I really wish Binder would actually stop attacking me, because it's costing us both so much time. And we could probably both try to attack the Hondas and get in front of them. But look how much of a gap they've actually put into me because of Binder just attacking me. And if you look on the tyre wear now, the left-hand side is really taking a beating at this point. My times are quite far off as well. I mean, I did a 29.1 was my fastest lap, but we got held up a lot there by Binder. But here we go down towards the first corner. Are we going to... Oh, big stoppy on the way in. And again, as I try and tip it in, the rear just steps out. The Yamaha has no rear grip whatsoever, which... you think would only affect you on the exits, but actually I'm getting more messed up on the entry. I can't brake as late because when I try and tip in with high speed, the rear just comes around on me. So we're right on the back of Taka now. It actually looks like Taka's also struggling with a bit of tyre wear, but I really don't want 3 laps in a row to mess up a turn 1 pass on him, so I'm definitely going to go for the inside this lap, and I'm a lot closer, so it should be a bit easier. In fact, we might even be able to get him before the first corner. I'm actually on course for a personal best lap as well as we come towards the line. Yep, new personal best. So we've got past Taka. We're close up a lot to Morbidelli and Marquez, but I just had to brake a bit earlier than I wanted to, just so I didn't get involved in that battle, because I know that would have just caused me to go wide and lose the place to Taka again, so there was not really much point in doing that. But Marquez makes the move on Morbidelli. Taka's trying to make the move on me, so maybe it's about time I make a move on Morbidelli as well. I know I've only just got on the back of him, but I think that would be a wise move. We try and get him into 5, or maybe not. Might be able to get him on the run into 7 though. Taka, those hitting me from behind. That really, really puts you off when you get touched from behind by an AI, because it just pushes you a bit wider to the corner than you want. Marquez going a bit defensive. I've got to say, the AI are giving me a good race here. They're just not... their racecraft is just not that good. The pace is good. The racecraft is not. Can we try and get the inside of Morbidelli here? There you see Yamaha on Yamaha. I can actually turn it underneath him because he has the same amount of power. But he's still on the inside. I'm going to try and hang it around the outside of him. Please don't let Taka through. Taka's trying to get through. I've got the switchback on Morbidelli. Up towards T12. On the brakes. He's just going around the outside. I had the tighter line. I probably should have tried to go a bit deeper, but I'm just too scared to lose the positions again. That's the problem. And we're right on the back of Morbidelli now, down towards the final turn. If we try and square him off through here, hopefully Nakagami doesn't do some dive bomb. He almost did. But at the last corner, we should fairly easily pass Morbidelli up towards the line, using a bit of Palmo 3 to get that done. So we're up into 11th. Next up is Marc Marquez. We followed him past a couple of people. And then is his teammate, Pol Espargaro. And then I think... well, it's one of the Pramacs. I think it's wearing Martin, though. Because Zarco is still quite good in this game. Marquez was looking on the inside of Pol then. Goes right up to the back of Marquez. The rear still stepping out, but crucially we didn't go too wide because of it, so we actually gained a lot on the brakes. So there is definitely a knack to trying to get this Yamaha stopped. It's just quite hard to do, and it really doesn't want you to. I think Pol has got Martin now. Looks like he has. So Marquez will be trying to get him next, which could leave him vulnerable to an attack from me. And again, the rear end really affected my entry to that corner. But we've got a big gap back to Morbidelli now, so for once I can actually start to take my own sort of sweeping lines a little bit. And also try and line up Marquez a little bit more instead of having to defend at every corner. But it looks like Marquez is going to go straight past Martin anyway, so I think it'll be Martin we're trying to attack next, which is going to be frustrating, just like Bastianini. Although I think Martin's going back at Pol actually. Oh, that's 4 track limits warnings now. So one more and we're done. I can't even remember picking up the third. I remember the first and second, but it doesn't matter. We're up the inside of Marquez. Up into the top 10 now. So next up is Jorge Martin. And then it's Pol Espargaro, but Marquez is probably going to be back up the inside. He's actually not, which was a surprise. I was expecting him to ram it straight back up the inside, judging by what we've been doing so far. Martin looks like he's struggling, so we might be able to actually get him a little bit easier than Bastianini. Especially if he goes a bit defensive or is trying to look at the inside of Pol. That's going to affect him quite a bit. There's only a few laps to go, so we do want to start making some moves. Martin's a bit wide. Palmo 3, come on. We couldn't pass Morbidelli here, but I'm going to give it a go on Martin. We're on the inside. He's not going to give... oh, he turned in like as if I weren't there. I mean, it was very brave. I avoided the contact because it was only going to go badly for me if we did touch there. It wouldn't have been Martin that went down. So for now, we'll just sit behind him, but we should get a good exit out the last corner compared to him. It doesn't make any sense, but we should just blast straight past him. Palmo 3 gives you so much power in this game. Here we go. Past Martin, and I can break up a normal point because I'm clear of him and I'm clear of Pol. So we're up into 9th place now, although the rear did step out a bit. That might allow Martin to re-attack me because I was a bit wide into turn 1, which will have affected my run down towards 2, and we're going to be wide into 2. Oh, Martin just crashed into the side of me, let alone trying to make a pass. He just completely nerfed me out the way. He didn't even pull off the move, but it's just cost me a lot of time to Pol, and I think that could be it. I don't think we're going to catch us to the back of Pol Espargaro now, but I'll give it my best shot. I just need to try and get away from Martin, because it seems like he's a little bit desperate. Even though I was quicker, he's going to be sending it everywhere. Tell you what, Zarco is in major tyre trouble, because he's just been caught and passed by the 2 Suzukis on the previous lap, and now Espargaro is trying to get past him, so his tyre's completely gone. And with the amount of time that's left of this race, he should drop back into my clutches. So we should actually get 8th place, because it looks like he's not going to be able to put up any kind of fight with the lack of grip he's got. Although it's not like I've got a load of grip either. I've really not got a lot left. Right on the back of Zarco. He cannot get the power down through this penultimate turn at all. He's actually really in my way. Sorry, final turn. Well, actually, yeah, there's the penultimate turn. And look at that. We're just going to drive past him as if he's standing still. So we've got straight past Zarco, up into 8th place now. It's just going to be a little bit too little too late to catch up to Pol, unfortunately. I think if we had a few more laps, I could actually probably have got up into 5th place here. But I think that would have been about it, because we're like 8 seconds behind Fabio Quartararo. He's absolutely checked out. Maybe if I hadn't got stuck behind Bastianini for so long, I probably could have got into the top 5 here, but, you know, it's one of those things. I'm only probably a couple of laps away from, well, I'd say a couple of laps away from doing it, but you saw how long it took me to pass a group of 3 riders. It was a long, long time. Coming through the final turn, though. It's going to be 8th place. Not too bad, to be honest. Considering how long we were stuck behind Bastianini, I'll absolutely take it. Last to 8th, but we did most of that on the first lap. I think I got up to about 13th in just a few corners. Yeah, so my pace was about right compared to the people I was with, because we kind of followed Pol Espargaro through a little bit. So we both had 29.0 as our fastest laps. Rins had a 29.1, Mir had a 29.1. Aleix Espargaro actually had a 28.8, so Aleix was doing pretty well in that race. Bagnaia actually almost won the race. He was only a 10th behind Quartararo. I thought he'd absolutely cleared off Quartararo, but I guess I was mistaken in thinking that. Miller was about 2 seconds off the back of them, then it looks like Espargaro was about a second off him, but then it was a huge gap back to Mir, the group of Mir, Rins, Espargaro and myself. And obviously there was Martin, Marquez. I think Zarco must have dropped it on the last lap, because you can see he's down... Actually, he's only 34 seconds behind, which with the crash, his bike retrieval was enabled, I believe. So they should have had the big 30-second long crash, so he actually should have been in the last. All the riders I found it difficult to pass are at the bottom. You can see Nakagami and Bastianini. They were quite difficult to get in front of. Where did Brad Binder actually end up? 11th. So yeah, he kind of got a bit stuck. He managed to get past Morbidelli, I think, but that was about it. He never really got up any further after I got in front of him then. He was hassling me a lot though. That really did affect me for a couple of laps. I think maybe I could have had a shot at the Hondas a bit quicker if I hadn't got Binder coming at the inside, but that's what you get when you're in a bit of a pack race, and that's what kind of makes it fun. It's not just picking off the riders anymore like it has been in previous games. You actually kind of have to take the correct line so they don't get back up the inside, because they will go for it. And as we saw into turn 11, on a couple of laps they'll go on the grass, and I think that's where the crashes all came from. I think that's why Zarco would have crashed. He would have probably touched the grass, because we saw Nakagami do that. Binder also did that up the inside of me, which cost me a lot of time. Nakagami doing that though actually helped me get in front of Bastianini, I think. So thank you for that, Nakagami, because I don't think I ever would have got past Bastianini otherwise. He just seemed to be perfect everywhere. I think it took me a few laps to get used to the Yamaha as well, so yeah, I think that was probably part of the reason why I couldn't get past him so easily. But I hope you guys did enjoy that one. I am actually happy that it didn't end up being too boring. I thought it was going to be boring. I thought it was just get stuck. Oh, I thought I was going to go backwards, which would have been even worse, like it's happened in previous ones. But this time we did make forward progress. It just was a little bit slower. If I had 100% race or 75%, I think 5th place easily. Could have got 5th place because we were closing up on... obviously, with the longer race, we would have had less tyre wear at that point of the race as well. So we'd have been closing up more to Pol Espargaro and the 2 Suzukis. So I think we could have probably got past them. But like I said, I hope you guys did enjoy that one. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.